the wheel, I'll shape the clay.
They made it.
They made it with Pottery Craft. With Pottery Craft. With the Pottery Craft Potter's Wheel, batteries not included, you can spin pots, mugs, and dishes. Next day, when they're dry, you can decorate them the way you like.
They made it. They made it.
Hey, that looks great.
With Pottery Craft.
The Pottery Craft Potter's Wheel, with everything you need to make air-dried pottery. By Gabriel.
Wouldn't it be nice to drink a hot cup of coffee on the way to work each morning? But you can't, because ordinary cups spill. Introducing Auto Cup by Ronco, the amazing no-spill cup. Just press the lever and drink. Release it and it's automatically sealed. Auto Cup's carrying strap makes it great for golfers, bikers, skiers, boaters, even truckers. Auto Cup by Ronco, a great Christmas gift, and it's only $5.88.
Available at High School Pharmacy, Woolworth, Mimart, Montgomery Wards, and Fred Meyer. Saturday at 4, school will never be the same. Jerry Lewis is the nutty professor.
Yesterday, in discussing biology, the long legs of the beetle and the wonderful body of the ant.
He's got something, and I mean to find out what it is.
Jerry Lewis is the nutty professor, the Saturday picture show at 4 on KPTV 12.
Have you been wanting to buy furniture but worried about credit? B&L Furniture can solve your credit problems now. You see, at B&L, we carry our own accounts. That means we can open a credit account for just about anyone, and you're no exception. B&L Furniture won't turn you down if there is any way we can help you get your credit started. So come into B&L and find the furniture you want. Then let us show you how easy it is to buy it. B&L Furniture is your credit store 7 days a week.
It's another great season to shop at Red Meyer.
Watch for the gift circular for savings on West Bend appliances, like the 12-inch automatic skillet with Silverstone nonstick interior and Sensitemp heat control, or the West Bend electric wok, perfect to stir-fry or steam vegetables and meat. Your choice, just $28.88. And the Poppery, West Bend's hot air popcorn popper with automatic butter melter is just $19.88. It's another great season to shop at Fred Meyer.
From rock's new wave comes K-Tel's Rock 80, starring Pat Benatar. Hot licks from the Knack, Blondie, and Joe Jackson.
This year really going out with it.
Platinum Power from Cheap Trick, the Ramones, and Gary Newman. Pretenders. Rock 80, a killer cut after cut. In tune with the 80s from K-Tel. Available at these and other fine stores.
It's Uncle Remus telling it as it is about all those wonderful critters. Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, Brer Bear.
Hey, there ain't nothing in here except beans.
It's warm and alive with excitement. It's that zippity-doo-dah picture, Walt Disney's Song of the South, rated G.
Now playing at theaters and drive-ins everywhere. Check your newspaper for one near you.
We sell a lot of records, and records cost a lot of money. But what good is spending a lot of money if your records don't sound good because of dust and static electricity? That's why I recommend to all our customers the new record vacuum by Ronco. It's so easy to use. Just insert any size record, 33 1/3, 45s, 78s. The new record vacuum automatically vacuums away all the microdust particles that distort sound and can damage your needle. It also eliminates static electricity buildup. The record vacuum by Ronco protects your records and gives you all the quality sound you paid for. It makes this sound like this. For the price of a couple of albums, protect your records and prevent damage to your needle. If you want the best possible sound from all your records, get the new record vacuum by Ronco. In fact, buy 2 or 3. They really do make great Christmas gifts. And they're only $14.88.
For parking my Corvette, Matchbox Garage, the best you can get.
The place I park my horse and my Dodge is right here in the good old Matchbox Garage.
There's so much to do at the Matchbox Garage. I'll never get bored with my Model A Ford.
Matchbox Super Garage. Any way you set it up, it's the perfect place for all your Matchbox cars.
Parking my 57 Chevy was never this heavy.
What's up, Cyberspace Cadets? That's right. Ring that bell. Cyber fam and fan boss galore. It's Sunday. You know what that means. It's time for ice cream, and you scream for some awesome entertainment. And to me, you know, I find, you know, most people say ice cream is a treat. And to me, a treat is getting to know somebody I really don't know. And today is a great example. I've seen this guy on Doc's show. I've seen him on Gaming's several times, and been actually, you know, and been in some group streams with them. But we've never really like hung out and talked one-on-one. And I said, man, you know, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to stretch out and kind of cross-pollinate with some people I haven't met and gotten into this thing with yet. And so, and today's going to be a great example because today we're going to kick the bow with none other than Doku. Hey man, how you doing? Oh, hold on.
It's a little bit cold in the area.
I had you muted. How you doing?
Oh,
again?
Great start.
Yeah, I know. Shit. Whatever. I boomer every episode, so you know.
No, it's all good. There's a running joke on Mildred's show, and also when Exiled Opinions was still up, they said it's not a normal show unless we have technical difficulties.
Exactly. You don't know it's from me unless you get it, man. So yeah, and so the deal is that I've got a group of questions, and we're fixing to get into that. But before we do that, we're going to acknowledge and give some love to that awesome chat out there. I want to say hey to Tourish, Memes of Destruction, RVADAR, who's going to be a guest up here. Let's see, Becca Fairley, what's up? Gaming and Yelling, of course. Sir Adamantine, Memes, Tourish. Who am I missing? Duck Dog, there you are. All right.
Goat Man.
Goat Man
in the chat.
That's right. It's official now. The goat has blessed us. And Uzi is gone. Bye, boo-boo. I love you. Anyway, on to some awesomeness. Jack Unsky, all right, man. Just slid right in there, didn't you? Sneaky. He's a sneaky one, you know.
Sly.
In a good way. In a good way. So, I don't know, man. All right, so if the Johnny Bonsaco, what's up? All right, they start coming in now. If you have a question for Doku, you know, at the end I'll open a spot, you know, right before we get to the ending of the show, where you can throw some questions in. So jot them down and hold them handy. And when we get there, then you can do that stuff. Jack said he thinks I underestimate the sneakiness. We'll see about that. All right, let's go ahead and move into the dog and cat room, which I love. I love this little place right here because it's a place to have fun and just kind of sit back. All right, everybody, buckle up, lean your seats back into glide position. And we're going to jam with Doku. All right? You ready, bro?
Oh, I'm always ready.
There we go. I like it. All right. How long have you been on YouTube? And what was the main reason that you started, you know, instead of just looking at YouTube, you decided you wanted to, you know, go on and, you know, and put content out there, put yourself out there.
Oh, I'm not exactly 100% sure. I know for the longest time I only used YouTube for music, like, because, there's auxiliary plugs in the car, radio over here sucks, so I just find a good playlist and just use that. But I guess about 4 or 5 years ago, I guess I never really noticed the social shift, the culture war, and because I was wrapped up in work. So I heard about this mythical thing called an SJW. So I was like, what the fuck is an SJW? So I just started listening to some people talk about social commentary. I ran across Suit Yourself, Warski, all that crew. And I just randomly got sucked into it one day. I think the first person I ever talked to was actually Cognitive Thought, back when he very first started.
Yeah.
And then through them, I ended up meeting Nurgle. Through Nurgle, I met Shandor and Mildra, and I streamed with them. Then I met Mad Dodge, started streaming with him. Through him, I met Pinoid. Through Pinoid, I ended up meeting you and gaming and Addy, and I don't know, it just kind of snowballed from there. Just sort of happened organically, I suppose.
Yeah, and you mentioned Mad Dodge, man, and I don't know if I've said this on the record here. We're gonna sorely miss that dude. It's a tragedy, and I pray for his family. So I wanted to put that out there, fam, because people that do what we do, it takes a certain type of person, and everybody is a person. Everybody's a somebody, and I know that sounds kind of trite, but what I'm trying to say is that we're all people, and we all have our own IRL shit, and and Mad Dodge was a really fun guy, and I just it just saddens me that he's gone. Anyway, so and we move on to some tearful stuff. So all right, so why use the name Doku, and how much of the you that's on on these streams is the real you, would you say?
So I came up with the name Doku because it's a tag that I've been using. I use it on line chat, I use it on video games, and it's from did you ever play Ninja Gaiden?
Mm-mm.
It was one of the main villains from Ninja Gaiden, and I don't know, I just like that character, so I just picked the name, and I've never seen anybody use it. Like, there's plenty of Count Dooku's, there's plenty of Goku's out there, but there's never been a Doku, so it just sort of stuck.
Nice. So I like that, just kind of do your own thing and be original. I like it. So what about the how much of what people get on here is the real you?
Oh, I don't put a persona out there. Like, this is exactly how I would talk if you sat down and met me for a drink at the bar. Like, okay. I don't see a need to play a character.
I totally understand that. I'm a little amped up. And I realize I'm out of fucking caffeine. Anyway, I've got some for the show, so we're gonna be fine. But I might have to run out. Anyway, so all right, to kind of open up everything, is there and I love asking this question: is there a food from your childhood that you could not stand, but now in your adult years you actually like it?
Huh. I don't think so. I was kind of a picky eater as a kid, but I was a weird eater. Like, I would eat like raw broccoli and scallops and spaghetti and shit. Like, I didn't really like pizza or hamburgers. I think my palate's actually expanded more the older I've gotten.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, even now, there's only one food that I just cannot eat, and that's frickin' beef liver. I can't do it. Almost everything else I'm okay with.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I had a window there where actually liver was okay, and then it closed quickly too.
See, I could never do it. Like, I've had haggis before, perfectly fine. Chicken livers, monkfish liver, cool with it. Turtle soup, perfectly fine. just there's something about the flavor of beef liver that just it tastes like bile. I can't do it.
Yeah, I totally get that, man. I totally understand. So who would you say was the most influential person on you as a kid?
Whew. Well, honestly, that'd have to be my mom, because I grew up in a single-parent household. My dad was military. They got divorced when I was really young, and as a kid, I was shy. I didn't interact that much as a child, so I could beat Star Fox in like 1 hour before I had to go to school. But other than that, I didn't interact much socially.
So, just if you could use one word to describe your family, what would that be?
Resilient.
I like that. It's hopeful. I like that.
Man, growing up as a military kid, my dad was Navy. Like, we were poor, dude. Like, we lived in Newport News. Like, there were times when we walked through Patrick Henry Mall looking for change on the fucking floor. Like, but now we're much more well off. That's because my mom's a hard fucking worker and she never quit. Like, so resilience, the best word I can think of.
I feel you. I totally understand that, man. Yeah. So you said you were a shy kid. What about grades wise? How were you?
It really depended on the subject. If I wasn't interested in it, I would do the bare minimum amount of work. But if I liked something, usually A's and B's. But math, I've always hated fucking math.
Right. So what did you gravitate to?
Ironically enough, I liked science, and for a while there I was big into art, but I kind of fell out of that. And I'll still like doodle occasionally when I get bored, but science, physics, even though I sucked at the math, but I still enjoyed it. Hated chemistry. Don't mind English. But I don't know, it was weird. I kind of jumped back and forth. I think it was more like the teachers in the classroom rather than the subject that determined whether or not I liked something.
I totally get that, man. You know, if you can tell somebody's just there getting a check, you know, they're not going to engage me. You know, a good teacher can fire you up about something that you're moderately interested in, or you might not be interested in it at all, and actually make it interesting for you, right?
Oh yeah, like one of my favorite teachers, I still remember his name. My junior year, I was taking physics. This dude's name was Mr. Bowman. He was probably like 80 years old. He'd always wear a bow tie. Like this dude, he could have been a college professor, but admittedly, he said he's not learning 2 languages just to get a PhD, so he just decided to teach physics at high school. But he was a huge Star Wars nerd. But he was like he was a quirky guy, but he made it fun. And I don't know how this dude could do he could do long form equations in his head in like 10 seconds. It's like, I guess I was kind of envious of him because I'm never gonna be that good at math.
Crazy, yeah, no doubt. Let's see. What about a holiday or a season of the year that makes you specifically jubilant, or picks you up?
Oh, see, I've always liked fall, but it has to be Halloween. I love Halloween.
Oh yeah, is there anything specifically that you do, or do you like to dress up, or what?
Honestly, I usually just play it by ear. But if there's one thing I like to do, if I have the time and I have the money to go ahead and do it, is I like to go down to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, because they do a special Halloween theme for the whole park. And they started doing that when I was a kid, and we still lived in Newport News, so it's got some nostalgia for me.
Cool. That sounds fun, actually.
It's awesome.
What do you do? Now I'm interested. Williamsburg would be like the set in like the colonial times, right?
Oh, that's it's the European one. So they have like a Hastings area. They have an Italian area. They have the Alps, like French Quarter.
Oh wow.
There's a Roman area. But obviously, always ride the roller coasters. You always got to do Alpengeist. That's still my favorite one there. They actually have these really cool candles that you can make, but they'll dip them in like multiple colors, and then you cut off the side and bend them over. So I always buy one of those, and I always buy a Stein every time I go. I think I'm on my 4th one now.
Oh, cool. Cool. It sounds like fun, man. It really does.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much just go there. They always have a turkey leg stand, like right when you very first walk in. So you get one of those big-ass turkey legs and a beer, walk around, figure out what you're going to do, and just... Again, I like doing things without a plan. I'm not one of those people who, like... You know, I'm going to do a trip, so I want to do this and this and this on day 1, and I want to do this and this on day 2. I'm like, nah, dude, just tell me where the hotel is, and then I'm gonna go walk on, go walk off and figure out what the hell it is I feel like doing.
Man. So if you could go back in time and talk to young Doku at the age of 8, what would you tell him?
Ooh. That is a good question. Man, I'm not sure how to answer that one. At the age of 8... I guess I'd say don't be so shy. Try to be a little more outgoing. Be more comfortable with yourself. Now, if we say 8th grade, you were gonna buy Apple because everybody was buying iPods and you didn't buy Apple stock. What is wrong with you?
Nice. So all right. We kind of talked about school. Did you play sports or anything?
Let's see. I did track and field. I played football for my freshman year in high school, but I didn't play any year after that because our coach was fucking garbage and it was painful. It was painful, man. I did wrestling for 1 year, and ironically enough, that sucked because I had mono while I was doing it, but I didn't know because it was like in that middle period where it didn't show up on the tests.
Oh, dude.
So I'm lucky I didn't burst my spleen or some shit. Like I know I almost passed out during a lot of the endurance training.
Yeah.
And then my coach afterwards is like, you were wrestling with fucking mono, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, dude, it's not my fault. It didn't show up on the test.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
Exactly. No, I totally agree. The whole running around with as much clothes on as you can put on in a room with the heater going and a big bucket in the middle that you puke in, that everybody is like running around in circles. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit.
The smell of vomit. Man. The smell of vomit and jockstrap. It's just really, it's an odor that is indescribable. You just have to experience to understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is unique in and of to itself, and it's not a pleasant experience.
Yeah.
But no, as far as sports go, the only other thing is I've been doing kinjutsu, aikido, and jujutsu ever since I was in like 5th or 6th grade, something like that.
Oh wow! What proficiency are you?
So in jujutsu, aikido they do it different. Instead of doing belts like you would with a karate, it's a license system. So being a first license would essentially be the equivalent of a black belt. So I'm the first license in aikido and kinjutsu, and jujutsu and karate I only got up to green belt before we had to move, and there was no other dojos around here that taught traditional jujutsu.
Right.
But I did find a kinjutsu place, and I did that for about a year until the football schedule cut into it, so I had to pick one or the other. And peer pressure, my friends were like, no, you're doing football. It's like, okay.
What's the difference between kinjutsu and jujutsu?
Oh, so kinjutsu is focused only around the art of the sword. So it's basically Japanese fencing.
Okay.
But it's not like kendo. It's not the bamboo sparring, the sticks, the shinai sticks.
Right.
This is like the actual actual form, cutting practice, stuff like that.
Nice. So it's I can see it's probably a lot more dance-like and graceful.
Actually, no. It's Japanese sword fights. Usually only last 1, maybe 2 moves, and it's very quick, very harsh. It is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I guess it's not really fluid at all.
You were using samurai swords, I guess, right? Or katanas, you know.
Yeah. We use a katana, katana wakizashi.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a pretty harsh art. You don't really you don't really realize how over-glorified sword fighting is, especially in like Hollywood, until you go take a traditional course or like learn from someone who actually knows how to sword fight, and they describe like, oh no, this is what it's gonna be like when you disembowel someone. And we had a lot of ex-military people at our dojo, so they were very colorful about their descriptions.
I bet they were, man. Ex-mil.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Let's see, where am I? What about, did you learn any musical instrument or anything?
See, I have a guitar. I have an ESP LTD M307 electric guitar, but I never got proficient at playing it. I have a keyboard, never got proficient at playing it. There was a point in time I had an electric violin, never got proficient at playing it. I've tried a lot of different things. I've never been the most musically minded person.
Right, but it sounds like you've been wanting to engage in something.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's even if it turns out to be shit, it's still fun.
That's right. I don't know. Yeah. Give me 1 second. All right, let's see. I lost my place is what I did. What's the craziest thing you did as a kid?
Oh, craziest thing I did as a kid. That's another tough one. I would say... Okay, me and my friends, I guess we still qualify as kids, or, 8th, 9th grade. We decided it would be fun to throw mortars at each other. And one of them accidentally landed in the middle of the street and exploded at, 1 in the morning. And so we were kind of running around this, backfield area back where I lived. Sports field, like baseball fields, soccer fields.
Right.
And we see some flashlights off in the distance. And we hear some people yelling, like, hey. And oh, shit, that's the fucking cops. So me, my one friend bolted back to my other friend's house. Apparently they were chasing him down. I think he said they had, he heard a dog barking. I was like, holy shit, they brought the canines. But me and my other friend didn't leave the woods. So for about an hour and a half, we were basically playing hide and seek with the cops in the middle of the woods at 1 in the morning. Pretty sure we could have gotten in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, exactly, man. Especially being elusive, evading capture.
No, yeah. I mean, looking back on it, it was fun in an adrenaline rush kind of way, but damn, was it stupid.
Yeah, no doubt. What about high school? What was that like for you?
I didn't hate it. I didn't really like it. Again, football was fun, aside from the fact that our coach fucking sucked and we never won a game. And we ran more than we practiced. We could run our entire first string and they'd never get winded. Right. But we didn't know what the fucking plays were because we never practiced them. It was shitty. It sucked.
That's kind of strange. You know?
Yeah, it was not a fun experience. But we're all, my group of friends, we're all hard-headed, so one of us would be like, oh, I'm gonna quit, fuck this, and the other of us are like, we haven't quit yet, so you're not fucking quitting. And the next week it would be a different person wanting to quit, and it would be rinse repeat, and that was pretty much the whole season.
Right. So you graduate. What comes next?
I graduated and I went to at the time I graduated, I was on probation because I started smoking weed when my junior year. Got in some trouble. So on probation, and then I ended up going to West Virginia University. And after about 3 months there, I realized, I'm spending $20,000 a year. My best grade is a C. Why the fuck am I spending $20,000 a year to drink when I could do that back where I was living? So I changed over to one of their satellite campuses because it was way cheaper. It was only $5,000. But that place fucking sucked. It was in this town called Keyser, West Virginia. And I shit you not, the restaurants, there was an Irish pub, a Long John Silver's, a McDonald's, a Sheetz, and the cafeteria at the college. That is it. Like, the number one employment opportunity in that town was it was a paper mill. So the whole town smelled like shit 24/7.
Yeah.
I only lasted there about 3 months. I was like, fuck this. I'm going back to the Northern Virginia area because the community college here is a lot fucking cheaper. So I was like, yeah, we'll do that instead.
So, all right, well, all right, let's kind of back up for a minute. And, all right, so when it comes to your high school, do you plan on going to any of your reunions?
Oh, no, I don't actually, because I ended up having to change the high school that I was going to my senior year. So I didn't know anybody at the new high school I went to senior year. And I've only kept in touch with maybe 2 of my friends from high school, so I don't really see a need to go to a high school reunion. It just doesn't interest me.
I hear you. You know, it's like this is the most common answer I get about that stuff. It's like, man, that shit's behind me. Fuck it. So we're going to shift gears kind of and kind of get into aesthetics or personal tastes. And so what would you, all right, so what's the first album you ever owned?
Oh, the first album I ever owned. Wow, I gotta think back on that one. I believe it was Rammstein, actually.
Right?
Yeah, I think it was Rammstein. It's either Rammstein, Korn, or Mudvayne. It was one of those 3.
Man, yeah, and I know exactly, you know, when you got them. Man, Du hast mich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Du hast, frickin' LD50.
Yeah, it's some great stuff. I loved industrial, especially at that point in the 90s. It's like everything kind of came to a crescendo in a beautiful way. It's really good music from back then.
Oh yeah, man, and especially one of my favorite bands still to this day, even though I have no idea what the hell happened to him, is Mushroom Head.
Oh really? Like,
yeah, I love Mushroom Head.
I've heard of them. I've never heard their music, and always lost on Nothing Else. Mentioned Seven Dust, which is a good band too. I caught that. I'm seeing people in the chat. If I don't say hey, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do like 12 things at the same time. So you know, and I'm trying to be engaged and talking to Mr. Doku too. I'm juggling. So I apologize, Mr. Doku.
No, you're good, dude. There's no need to apologize to me, man.
All right, so what was the first concert you ever went to?
First concert I ever went to. I know I had been to ones before this, but the first one I ever went to that I guess was a quote large concert was I had actually ended up moving from Texas up into the Northern Virginia, like DMV area, and one of the first kids that I made friends with ended up getting tickets to a Blink-182 concert. Not exactly my cup of tea, but yeah, fuck it, why not? Mm-hmm. And it actually wasn't a bad show. I know everybody says like the drummer Travis is fucking amazing, and it's like, how good can a drummer be? I stand corrected. A drummer can be extremely entertaining.
Oh, dude, you know, some drummers, it's interesting, but drumming is a very interesting art form because some of the simplest looking drumming could be the most difficult shit. And vice versa. Stuff that looks difficult could be very simple. Just a matter, you know, technique. And yeah, I could talk all day about, you know, like if you listen to AC/DC, they've got just a really good, basically just disciplined drummer and bass player, you know, and it's really just, you know, and everything. I don't know. I really admire like a disciplined drummer, like, you know, like John Bonham, you know, good stuff. So yeah, Blink-182, aren't they the ones the guys like into UFOs and shit? Is that the wrong band?
I honestly don't know, because I've never been a huge fan of that type of style of music. Like I'm on Green Day. Their newer stuff I think is absolute garbage. Was never really a huge Sublime fan, with the exception of maybe like 2 or 3 songs. So like, I never got big into like ska or punk or anything like that.
Right.
Again, I'm industrial metal, like any form of metal, techno. That's kind of always been my thing. I had a period where I enjoyed rap and listened to it a lot, and then I quickly went back to hating it.
Yeah, it's somebody said, the guy from April Wine. It's like, see, that's a band. That's a deep dive band. They're really good. From back in the day. You have to have like a little white in your beard to understand that band. And they're underrated. So anyway, what's your favorite guilty pleasure music wise?
Favorite guilty pleasure music wise? I don't know if I have a guilty pleasure music wise, because if it sounds good, I'll listen to it. I don't really care.
Indeed.
But if anything, I guess I'll go back and listen to like some old school Linkin Park, just because nostalgia factor, or like some really old Eminem.
So you're not into the Spice Girls?
Stand that guy.
You're not into the Spice Girls?
Oh, there are like 1 or 2 Madonna songs that, because my mom's an 80s kid. So there are like 1 or 2 Madonna songs that when I hear them, I have no idea what the name is. I don't know what the lyrics are. I just know the sound of it because of the vocal range and the music. So when I hear them come on, I'll listen to them. But I couldn't search them and find them if I wanted to, because I don't know. It's a childhood memory.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of other songs like that too, and I can't remember.
Yeah, well, when Madonna was on point, she was on point. She was unstoppable, and her music was very catchy. And
I forgot
this. Singer.
I forgot this. That Blink-182 concert my friend took me to, Madonna opened for them.
Oh wow! Now
yeah, she had a bathtub out on stage. It was kind of bizarre. She's not the greatest performer, but she has a really good stage presence.
Indeed.
If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. It's all about the stage show after you reach some point, right? What about, all right, so talk about the first time, all right, so you can talk about, your first erection, or the first time you realized that girls were turning you on, or objects or whatever. You know, some people get turned on by shoes and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, to each their own, I suppose. It's not my thing, but
yeah.
I guess right around. I won't say I realized what it was girls that turned me on. I won't say I was familiar with what sexuality was, but I know my first erection was sometime around when I was in 2nd or 3rd grade.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I had no idea what it was. It was more just oh, this feels nice.
Nice.
It probably wasn't until about 5th or 6th grade that it was oh, this is why boys and girls are different.
Yeah. that's a memorable moment too, isn't it?
That was right around the time I moved down to Texas. So when
go ahead.
Oh yeah, when I was living in Newport News, because the public schools were such fucking trash. When I say I lived in a ghetto-ass area, I'm not joking. It was ghetto. I found my bike. Well, my bike got stolen. I found it. It got stolen again, and I found it. This literally happened every other day for about 2 weeks before I just gave up. We're talking ghetto. But because the schools were so shit, before I ended up moving, in 4th grade, I went to Trinity Lutheran. It's a rather well-known private school.
Yeah.
But it was right around then that I very first started to actually notice girls. And then we moved to Texas. And in Texas, kids were already all about dating and shit. So I went from I went from like what you could expect from a Lutheran private school to, oh hey, that chick? Yeah, do you like her boobs? Do you think she's hot? I'm like, what? Huh? Like, whoa, culture shock.
Well, all right, so what was the first time with the chick like? What did that look like?
Honestly, it was pretty kind of boring, I guess, for most people. Like, for me, obviously, it wasn't boring because she had double D's and was, rather skinny. She was very, very attractive, put it that way.
Right.
But, yeah, we went, saw a movie. I don't even remember what we saw because we didn't pay attention to the movie for obvious reasons. Went home, played Dead or Alive. She actually kicked my ass in Dead or Alive. I was kind of upset about that. And then what were we drinking? I think we had like a few shots of amaretto, and like a glass of wine, and then she stayed the night. Things happened, and we went to school the next morning. It was kind of it wasn't anything crazy.
Right. What about the first time you got wasted or got fucked up? What was that like?
That would have been around 8th grade, and when you get snowed in, getting drunk and playing video games is a very good way to pass the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's the thing. I've been drinking since I was in like 7th, 8th grade. Like, the Irish blood is strong in me.
Indeed.
So pound back a few beers, play a match of Halo, get drunk, play a strategy game, get drunk, go on to World of Warcraft and grief people, be a dick, do stupid shit. Like, it's just a fun way to kill time.
Let's see.
Granted that has landed me in some circumstances from time to time where it's like, okay, I need to keep that shit under control because I like drinking. I like drinking a little bit too much.
All right. So, what about now at this point in your life? What about relationships? Are you in a relationship? Are you looking to get married? What about kids? What is? Tell me.
No, I'm in a relationship. As far as kids go, I don't really see kids in the foreseeable future. If I have kids, it's probably not going to be for another 5 to 10 years because I want to make sure that I'm very financially stable. I don't want to be a paycheck to paycheck dad. Like, I grew up poor. I know what that shit's like. I want a healthy nest egg before I start, like, even considering that option. But as far as relationships go, I don't know. I'm in one. I'm satisfied. I'm not really looking. Yeah, I'm not really looking for the excitement or like the thrill like a lot of people are. I'm more, in a weird way, I'm kind of more of a work, shoot the shit, have fun type of person. I'm not constantly out there to, like slay as much poon as I possibly can. It's like, yeah, that's just superficial nonsense. Like, who the fuck cares?
Right. Well, so how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, so you're in a good spot, to be there. So what about cohabitation or marriage? You thought about any of that with this person, this girl that you're hanging out with now?
And we're going to at a certain point in time. It's just right now the name of the game is trying to save up enough money as possible, and that means living as frugally as possible. Because I know if you've listened to any of the streams I've been on with Pinoid or anything, I'm big on economics and finance, and I do not want to be like the rest of my generation that apparently has no fucking idea how economics actually works, let alone responsible fiscal planning. So getting rid of all of my debt and saving up as much money as possible was hopefully to the point. What I want to get to is $50K saved in a diversified monthly dividend portfolio, just as just as static passive income. Once I can do that, I'll have enough to at least pay my rent without having to worry about working or anything like that. I could literally sit here and talk to you for the next month and still be able to pay my rent.
Nifty.
That's the goal. So I'm about halfway there.
That's cool, man. What kind of work do you do in the daytime, if you don't mind, or if you don't want to say that you don't have to?
Yeah, the most I can say about it is it's IT and some administrative work. It's for contracting.
Got you.
It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it pays decently well. I am going back to school now to finish up a data center management engineering certificate, because they're opening data centers hand over fist out here, and you can get a job working. If you can manage one of these big ass fucking data centers, these server farms out here,
right?
They'll pay you like anywhere between $60,000 and $80,000 starting, depending on who you go to work for.
That's crazy.
And it's not that difficult of a job either. I mean, the most difficult part is you might have to go fix like the HVAC unit, or we're not even on the software side of things. We're the engineering side of stuff. So a server goes down, okay, I got to call the software guys, and they'll come fix it and they'll reboot it. And I just got to make sure everything stays working.
It's just gotta hang out, make sure the shit's just everything's going. It sounds like you get it's laid back, but when it gets hot and heavy, it's pretty intense, right?
Oh yeah. No, I mean for the most part it's pretty easy. It's only when suddenly you get a last minute task order from the customer to be like, hey, yeah, that paper that you reviewed for me, yeah, I'm gonna need you to review all the ones for next month and get it out to me as soon as possible, because the deadline got moved up. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes that deadline getting moved up means a 48-hour window.
Dude, I hate it when that happens, man.
Oh yeah, it sucks, because you'll get a last minute email and it's like, oh yeah, wasn't that due? Oh, fuck, never mind. Customer wants it now.
Man. All right, so let's kind of shift gears and get into like your tastes. What about are you into horror or anything like that? Like horror?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I actually like to write. I haven't published anything yet because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but one of these days, even if I have to self-publish on Amazon, I will publish. I do have 2 different horror stories that I'm working on simultaneously. I'm also big into fantasy, sci-fi. Like, I'm a nerd, man. Trust me, throw anything geeky my direction, I'll probably be into it.
Well, yeah, so why don't you talk about sci-fi, horror, and gaming, and, just just give me everything.
All right, I'll give you the full.
What's your favorite horror film, man?
Oh, favorite horror film. That's got to be either Event Horizon or Rose Red. Those are.
Wow. Yeah, man. So yeah, you're kind of like into the haunted house thing, the haunting. Even though it's like Event Horizon is more about opening the gateway to hell.
Yeah, I mean, I love that blend of sci-fi and horror just because it's a very unique style. But yeah. My idea of horror is not slasher flicks. Like, right. I'm not into the gore porn. It's like, okay, cool. It's a serial killer. That's not scary to me. I'm into like the supernatural, demonic, paranormal, that type of shit.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because people have posited that the creation of a singularity could open a doorway to a different dimension. And I don't know, I don't know about you, but I've heard Alex Jones drone on and on about they're not aliens, they're really from another dimension and shit. And
yeah,
and the CERN super collider is fixing to fire up in a couple of weeks. I think that around the 21st of January they're supposed to create more singularities, so that could be. Yeah,
they're doing the Large Hadron Collider.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and So that'll create some more realities for us. maybe we can get on this.
That's another
one.
thing I love is getting into all those. I like all the conspiracy theory channels. Like, I'm pissed. I'm still pissed that YouTube fucking yeeted Secure Team off the platform.
Man, oh Lord, it's the whole genre. It's like the flat Earth thing. It's like whether you say it for real or you say it as a troll or whatever. There's definitely an audience for that, and it's definitely entertaining. And I don't understand, I don't know, man.
Yeah, YouTube's weird. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to say about it. YouTube is they've got to stick up their ass and they need to do something about it.
Yes, they do. What about let's see, what about your favorite video game?
Ooh. Now see that. Now I'm gonna have to pick between modern or retro.
Both. One of each. I'll take it.
All right. Just because I'm a huge strategy fan and I've always been into Warhammer, I love Warhammer Total War. I don't care if it's the original or the second one. Fucking love those games. But we're going old school. Oh, it's either got to be Alone in the Dark or Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I know, two completely different generations, but in my mind, they're old enough to be considered retro.
Right.
I gotta go with Majora's Mask.
All right, so I've never heard of that. What is it about?
So it's the Zelda franchise.
Yeah. Okay. It's part of Zelda. Okay.
Yeah, it's it happens right after Ocarina of Time, and it's the one. If you ever heard anybody talk about it, it's the one where it happens over the course. Like the story takes place over the course of 3 days, and then by the third day, the moon crashes into to Tamara, I think is the name of the land that you're in. So you have to like rewind time back to day one, and that's how you go through the entire story, just repeating events over and over and over again until you finally beat the main boss, Majora. It's a pretty dark game actually. Like a lot of the side quests in it, like you can watch someone, like there's one this one lover doesn't want to leave the town because she's waiting for her fiance to come back to get married. So if you never do the side quest, well, of course she dies. Or you can do the side quest, he got turned into a kid, and then they end up being together on the final day. Of course, they'll die. Like it's just really twisted. It's a very dark, kind of nihilistic, hopeless sort of Zelda game. It doesn't have that sort of heroic adventure-y feel that all the other games do, which is probably why I like it.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of fits what you've been saying. So what about anime? What's your favorite anime series?
Ooh. Just because of the nostalgia factor, and I grew up with it, Outlaw Star. Outlaw Star's fucking amazing.
I've never seen that, man.
It's a space western. It's kind of in the vein of Cowboy Bebop, but a little more science fantasy.
Right.
It's not quite as adult, but it's actually really good. I would suggest watching it especially if you're into like space westerns, outlaw bounty hunters, pirates, that type of shit.
Yeah. So if you like The Mandalorian, you might like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you would like this.
Right, cool.
And especially the main character. Out of all sci-fi weapons, I have to give it to Outlaw Star as just having the one. If I had to pick one sci-fi weapon, what I would want, he has a gun called a caster. And so what a caster is that it fires shells that are imbued with magic. So they'll have different numbers. So each number has like a different effect. So it can be something as simple as like an energy blast, or shooting like a black hole that sucks your opponent into it, but then also drains some of your life force as part of the payment to use it. Like,
wow.
it's a really fucking cool concept.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So it sounds like it's based on a RPG, like a book type. You know, when I say RPG, I usually mean like
tabletop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I would definitely suggest watching Outlaw Star, just because it's a really good story. And again, space western. Who doesn't like fucking cowboys in space? Come on. But as far as anime goes, just picking one is hard because I do not like Western media as much. It just feels lazy. Like, you'll get a gem here or there, but I find the medium of anime to be a little bit more entertaining because there's certain types of stories you can tell using the medium of anime that you can't with anything else, which is why every time Netflix does a live action adaptation, I want to fucking shoot myself.
All right, Donatello de Cops donates $3 and says, Space Cowboys, like Serenity / Firefly. Exactly.
Actually, it's funny that you bring up Serenity and Firefly, because the plot from Serenity and Firefly, if you watch the first couple episodes of Outlaw Star, you'll go, wait a second. This is fucking Firefly. It's like, yes.
Okay, cool. So,
I'm not going to go as far as to say as they ripped off Outlaw Star, but I will say that there is a chick in a box that is the linchpin MacGuffin to the entire story. Just throwing that out there.
Right. Yeah, like River. Isn't that her name?
I forget. It's been such a long time since I've seen that show.
Yeah. Summer Glau, dude.
Oh yeah, she's fucking hot too.
Legs, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, so go ahead.
I know the question is always like tits or ass. It's like, dude, I'm a thigh guy. The tits and the ass are nice, but you gotta have nice thighs. There's something about thighs. It's a
Something to be
must.
said for a great pair of gams, brother. I totally high five on that shit. But
Yes, sir.
I do love me some titties. Just saying. I'm being honest.
I appreciate the female form, but it's the thighs come first. It's hard to pick between tits and ass.
I quit smoking just so I could have more tits. Anyway, do you have any scars, tattoos, piercings, anything like that?
I don't have any piercings. Never been a thing for me. I have no desire to get any. I told myself the only way I'm getting a tattoo is if I find my way to Japan and I can afford to get a traditional Japanese tattoo. In which case, yes, I will. As far as scars, I've got one across my my left upper brow. That's from when I should come up with a better story for this, but fuck it, who cares? I was playing volleyball in gym like my junior year or something, and there's this one kid that was good friends with him. I forget his name now, but tall kid. He was like 6'4", 6'5", like my junior year. But he went to go. We were fucking around. He went to go punt the ball, and his elbow just accidentally clipped me on the side of my brow. But it happened to be in that exact right spot that where a little bit of swelling will cause the skin to split and it won't stop bleeding.
Right.
So it's just it wasn't even that hard of a hit. It was just right in the perfect way that it just caused it to swell just enough. I ended up having to get stitches for that shit. But I have that scar. I have a scar on my arm from when I got a piece of glass stuck in it. That fucking sucked. That bled for quite a while.
I'm going to ask the chat real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. Just one sec. Yeah, we got 28 watching and only 13 thumbs up. Come on, y'all. I'm just saying, help a dude out. Me and Doku having fun. You're enjoying it, obviously, because you're not going. So give us a thumbs up if you would. It's free, and share it. Even that's even better, and that's free too. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, help out the man in the hat.
So all right, so you got busted. And what happened? Did you have to get a stitch or what?
Yeah, I had to get a couple of stitches in there. The stitches were fine. It's that frickin' I don't think they needed to give me the Novocaine shot or whatever it was, but damn, that shit stings. Like when you get it like directly like injected into a fucking cut, like
Yeah.
it only stings for a couple of seconds, but damn, does it hurt for that couple of seconds?
Yeah. Well, they do that so you don't feel the needle, that they sew you up with, because that hurts like a MF too. I've been sewn, without the benefit of Novocaine or lidocaine, excuse me. And all right, so moving on. Let's see. What do you think? All right, in 40 years, what do you think people will be nostalgic for?
Oh, that's an interesting question. In 40 years, God, especially looking back on last year, what are we gonna be nostalgic for? It's a damn good question. I'm not sure. That maybe YouTube, if it manages not to, if it still manages to survive, but like old school YouTube. I know there's people at least like you and me would like everything to go back to the way it was in 2015, 2016. That'd be nice.
Dude. Yep.
Maybe the Dark Souls video games.
Cool.
I think those will have a lasting. Presence on culture.
Cool. So, all right, what's the most useless talent you have?
Oh, most useless talent. I'm not sure. I would have to be talented to have an answer to that question.
What about collections? Do you have any? Do you collect anything?
Oh yeah, I collect coins. I have some cards somewhere. I don't know where, but I've collected Magic cards, Pokemon cards. We got some baseball cards somewhere.
When you say Magic, you mean Magic the Gathering?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Not like a trick deck. Like you do tricks with. Okay.
No, but Magic the Gathering. I've got the old school Pokemon cards somewhere. I'm pretty sure I've still got a collection of Pogs somewhere too. Got a pretty good sized comic book collection.
Oh yeah. When do your comics start?
And from around the mid '90s, I never went into buying into like this Silver or Bronze Age stuff. I just started collecting like some of the newer variant covers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which sucks because Marvel and DC has gone to utter trash. So
yeah,
as much as I love Marvel and DC, I'm not going to spend my money on what they claim to pass for as a product now. It's an absolute waste.
Dude. Yes, I totally agree with that. Sorry, y'all. I made smacky noise with my mouth. I know that there's somebody in the chat that doesn't like it when I do that. So, sorry. But moving on. All right, so if you could know the absolute and total truth to what question would that be?
Ooh. Absolute and total truth to one question. Is anti-gravity possible?
That's a good question, actually. So if you could go back in time and spend a week with anybody from the past, from history, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Well, I'm going to leave out personal acquaintances. I'm just going to stick to historical figures. If I could spend a week in time with anyone, probably Nikola Tesla.
Wow. I heard that, man. You and I have a lot of shit in common, like when it comes, you answer these questions similar to the way I would, just so, and that's unique. Well, what is go ahead.
I feel like there's just so much information that guy probably knew and just never got written down. Like, or that it was just in his head that he never just got around to do. Like,
dude,
I wouldn't want to sleep for that week. I would just like hit the play or the record button on the recorder and just scribble down notes and be like, just talk. Everything that you can think of, just talk.
Yeah, you should look up on. There's some great stuff on YouTube where they've got this. He had a design for a supercharger, and it's crazy. It's just 3 discs, and you know how it does the compression. I have no idea, but it's fascinating to watch these people build. The people are building his stuff and showing it on YouTube. So if you can just look up Tesla, it'll pull some of that stuff up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I haven't seen that.
What's your spirit animal, would you say?
Oh, spirit animal. Just because I've grown up with cats my entire life, it's probably some cat of some sort.
Yeah, cool.
What kind of cat, I don't know.
Definitely. All right, so this is the point where I do what's known as the Lipton questions, and that means that y'all, it's time to queue up some questions while we go over this. This is James Lipton, the guy that used to do a show called the Inside the Actors Studio. He died about a year ago, like around now, and I don't know. It was one of my big influences, so I decided I just do this in every show. And you know, an homage to him, and I love the questions. So what's your favorite word?
My favorite word? For some reason, probably viridescent.
Okay, what's your least favorite word? I like that.
My least favorite word? Butt.
What turns you on? Go ahead.
It's just every time you hear the word butt, it's like, great.
Oh, yeah. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Oh, let's see. What turns me on creatively? Music, but definitely more like classical, whimsical, like what you might consider fantasy style music. Like just no vocals, like, or if any types of vocals, it has to be like chanting or like a female like vocalist or something. No words.
Right. Like, does it have to be? Is it like classical, or is it like modern with electrical instruments?
Well, it doesn't have to always be classical. I mean, it's all about the tone and everything. So I mean, you could do that same type of sort of like fantastical sort of music with a guitar the same way you could with a violin or piano.
Sure. So what turns you off?
What turns me off? Creatively, loud conversations, like loud debate, like things I actually have to pay attention to. Yeah.
What's your favorite curse word?
Ooh, favorite curse word is definitely fuck, just because of the versatility of it.
What sound and noise do you love?
Let's see. It's just the car engine in general, not the exhaust, the actual engine.
All right, what sound do you hate?
What sound do I hate? Babies crying. Can't stand it.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Ooh, pilot.
What profession would you not like to do?
A diver.
Okay. And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome home.
Fair enough, man. All right, so chat, this is your turn. Pop some question marks so I can know that they're questions for our man Doku here. So, and while we're waiting on that, talk about, let's see, who would you say is a criminally undersubscribed YouTuber on this corner of YouTube?
Ooh, criminally undersubscribed. Man, there's a lot of them. I guess it really depends on like what your flavor is. If I guess these are just people that I talk to, but if you're into just general like kind of pop culture news, Lord Nurgle and Mildred the Monk, especially if you're into like geek stuff like tabletop RPGs, video games, that you definitely have to check out Mildred the Monk. Honestly, I think you're criminally undersubscribed. So is Penoid. So is Gaming and Yelling. Sir Adamantium. Like, our corner of YouTube is criminally undersubscribed. Period. Like,
agreed.
You could just throw a dart at the dartboard. Like,
it's like they just like sweep us under the rug and just kind of just step on us and shit. Anyway, I feel you. It's not getting enough love. Let's see. What? No math questions? Yeah, we had talked about math earlier. What do you think of the X20 coming out of Connaught Villars from England?
the X20. Oh, is that the X20? Isn't that the single stage to orbit aircraft? Or is that? Am I thinking something else?
I don't know.
If I remember correctly, I know there was it was either a single stage to orbit or it was a ramjet airframe.
Yeah. Are you talking about some of the hypersonic stuff? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if that's what the question. Becca wants to know, do you have any guilty pleasures when it comes to food?
Ooh, do I have any guilty pleasures when it comes to food? I have been blessed with a fast metabolism. So I don't really eat sweets, so I don't have to worry there. Guilty pleasures, guilty pleasures. All right, I'll admit. I'm one of those people where I'll see like a giant prawn on the menu for like $50, or I'll see like for New Year's I actually had a 4-ounce Kobe steak from Hokkaido that was like $120, but you only see those things like for example this Hokkaido snow beef. They only slaughter 2 head of cattle every month, and it only comes from one region of Japan, from a farm owned by one guy. So I see things like that, and I know it's like I'm probably never gonna have another chance in my life to try it. I'll shell out the money for it. You only live once. Fuck it. Why not?
Cool. Okay, not seeing any more questions, people. Come on, throw them up. Becca goes, seafood. Oh, what's the freakiest girlfriend you ever had, and what made her freaky?
Oh, freakiest girlfriend I've ever had.
I like that question.
There was this one chick I was dating for about a year. Her name was Amy, and she was she would come off as shy, like not kind of almost bookwormish, but not quite there. Not like she wore glasses or anything, but she'd always wear like sundresses. She's half white, half Puerto Rican. Only like 5'3", maybe like 100 pounds soaking wet.
Nice.
D's. But
you like lollipops, don't you, brother?
And hey, man, there's something about a certain frame, but you have nice ass, nice tits, nice thighs, but when it's all proportioned correctly. Like, that's the key. It's all about proportion.
All right. So, what do you think about AOC? It's the litmus test here.
She's not the most unattractive person in the world, but I can't do her smile. And when she starts talking, she gets that bug-eyed look. Nah. I know some people think she's hot.
Yeah, like somebody stuck their thumb up her ass. Is like her eyes just like, It's like, what the fuck? All right, GoBan wants to know this. And GoBan asks them questions. I like it. What is your favorite color? And what was the purpose of your quest? What is the airspeed of an unladen swallow? Brief 3 questions to cross that bridge.
Oh, well, my favorite color is purple. The purpose of my quest is to find the Holy Grail, and the airspeed of an unladen swallow is not enough to carry a coconut to England.
Yes. You pass. Go ahead, cross the bridge. Let's see.
Sorry, real quick. I saw Moonbase said it's a 20-cylinder X-Form engine. I have not looked into that, and I'm going to because now I'm very curious.
I don't have any idea of what he's talking about. And now I'm interested in it too. So Nostradamus wants to know, was it PROSTATE that you went to in Keyser, West Virginia? I don't know.
It was Potomac State. Yep, Potomac State.
Okay. So obviously kicking some similar soil there. Let's see. Are you into trans people, and how?
Wait, what? Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Spittlebuggies asks, "Are you into trans people, and how?" Question.
Hey, you know what? Everybody has their kinks. It's never been something I've encountered, and it's not on my list. You guys can do you. It's not my cup of tea.
So an X20 is like a double V engine, like a double V10, except it's inverted into an X. So it's like instead of a V, the cylinders form an X. That makes sense.
Actually, I can see that being a really good radial engine, especially for an aircraft, because you'll have the centrifugal force will help balance it out, so you're not going to get a lot of rocking.
Well, the Pratt & Whitney R2800 engine that pretty much won the World War II was I think it was 18 cylinders and incredible horsepower. It flew everything from the P-47 to the B-29, I believe. They might have had something different. Look it up for me. QNTKAA or Moonbase Security. Check it out. Hi, Ann Frankenberry. Greetings. Groovy. All right. So, what was your most embarrassing public moment?
Ooh, most embarrassing public moment. Well, if I could do what Trippy asked and do a Kamala Harris impression, that would be my most embarrassing public moment. But since that isn't, I can't do the Wicked Witch of the West laugh. I'm sorry.
Nice.
But most embarrassing public moment. Man, that is a tough one. I know I've probably had a lot more that I can't remember, probably because I was really, really drunk. I won't say it was embarrassing, but I thought it was kind of funny. So when I got in trouble at high school, that ended up getting me kicked out of the high school. They held me all the way until standard school hours were over, because that's the only way they could search my car, because now technically it's on school property and I'm, quote, technically trespassing because I no longer go to that school. Yeah, crafty fucking bastards. But so they went through and they were searching my car. The friend that I drove to school, or he rode with me to school, that morning left his bud in my car. So they found weed, they found blunts, they found 2 lighters, they found a pack of cigarettes, and then they opened the trunk and there's 2 flattened empty 24 case boxes. And so they're just pulling all this stuff out. The school resource officer, aka the cop, him, the assistant principal, the guidance counselor, the principal, and like 2 other teachers. They're just pulling all this stuff out of my car. Not only is there everybody who's leaving school, but the entirety of the band and orchestra was all out there too, and my car was parked right next to where they did practice. Needless to say, they all stopped, because everybody's got to look to see what's going on. But I don't know if that was embarrassing more as it was funny.
Man, so it's somebody else's story, right? And it's like, how many people say that and lie to the cops about it, but in your case, it was true, right? That's just... Yeah,
they kind of had me dead to rights, so I was like, fuck it. I can either waste my time, or I can just go ahead and get it over with. It's like, fuck it, let's just get this over with.
Get it over with, man. I feel you. So, all right, we talked about undersubscribed YouTubers. What about a YouTuber that you think is way overhyped?
Ooh. Honestly, anybody in the makeup tutorial genre, like
yeah,
anybody that works with YouTube, like their official nonsense, like the Paul brothers and all that shit, like pretty much anybody that falls into the tokenism celeb, like Ninja, SS Sniper Wolf, like all those. I know they're not YouTubers, but like,
yeah, I feel you. Yeah, like Invader V.
Yeah. I will say, I know a lot of people have very strong opinions about Belle Delphine, but you know what? I don't knock her for what she does, because she's managed to make a shit ton of money, and she's clearly providing a product that somebody's willing to pay money for.
Dude.
I don't know why you want to buy Gamer Girl bathwater, but credit where credit is due for managing to sell people fucking bathwater.
I think she just did a porno, man.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard it
OnlyFans.
wasn't very well received.
Dude, it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't get it either with that one. I mean, you know, cute's cute, but she looks like an anime character. I don't know. I find it very uncomfortable to see these young people without pubic hair. It just makes me feel creepy. So it's like I'm an old school kind of guy. I'll put it that way.
Well, that's the thing. She found a niche. Like she has the pink anime hair. She wears outfits that you would expect someone in an anime to wear. Yeah. She does the fucking Ahegao face. Like she knows her market. I gotta give her credit.
And the do you think that's makeup, or do you think she's actually blushing like that?
Oh, it's definitely makeup.
It's definitely makeup.
It's definitely makeup.
All right, so back on you and your relationship with YouTube. Do you have any new content that you got coming out that you want to talk about?
See, the thing is, I'll jump like from your stream, or when Excel is doing a stream, gaming, Addy, Pinoid. Occasionally, Jensen and me are still doing stuff on Mad Dodge Productions. We've been asked to keep the channel going, so we're going to. We obviously took a break because of the New Year's and everything.
Right.
Lord Durgle, he does Stream of Corruption every Thursday night, like 9:45 Eastern Standard. Mildred the Monk will be doing a stream tonight. That's around 10:11 Eastern Standard. We do something different each week. This week we're talking about how Marvel movies don't sell comic books, but anime movies like Demon Slayer sell manga. We're going to be talking about that. Other than that, I don't make my own content just because I do this for fun. I'm not trying to make money at it. But when I do publish one of those books, I might go ahead and use YouTube as a promotional tool. But I'm just kind of in it for fun and to shoot the shit with people.
Well, and that's you've garnered a personality by popping on other people's stuff, and I think that in itself is a cool way to do this thing. I think that because obviously people like me need people like you to make this thing work. Because can you imagine what gaming, what my show would be, or what gaming show would be without people, just us, and I'm not saying we suck as entertainers. I'm just saying the people add this dimension to it that makes it more dynamic, creating content as a sole presenter during a live thing, is just has it's a different animal. So
and it's definitely, I know there's some people who can just sit down and rant and talk or do commentary, but for the most part, I like the conversation. The conversation is more entertaining to me, just because you'll get a different perspective, and let's be honest, it's fun to watch people debate and argue.
Indeed, I totally agree. All right, and so we're at the end of the line here. We're at the last question, and this is where you chill the channel and give a final word to the chat, and then I'll chill out, and that's the show.
All right, well, Trippy, I never actually played the South Park game on N64, and I regret it, but I did play Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is a superior game if you ask me. But, like I said, Mildred the Monk is going to be doing his show tonight. That'll be 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check him out if you're into tabletop RPGs, video games, anime, anything of the sorts, anything nerdy, geeky, where he actually interviews a lot of like indie creators that are starting stuff like video games, tabletop RPGs, card games. So check him out. Check out Lord Nurgle. Check out gaming. Check out Pinoid. Check out Mad Dutch Productions. That's still going there. Help out Rebel Mama. You can follow me on Twitter or Parler. It's about the only social media I have outside of this platform.
Your links for Twitter and Parler are down beneath in the description. So please, people, go ahead and click on those and hit follow if you're not. I'm going to speak about my content for a minute, for just a hot minute here. Tomorrow, Miss Becca and I are going to be looking at China and the Communist Party of China and their direct effect that the influence they're trying to exert or lean into when it comes to the rest of the world. And we're going to be using like news and stuff this time. It's not going to be older public domain stuff that we'll be going into. And Friday, of course, we got the Creem stream. More of the same. It's a new year, y'all. Our darkest days are ahead. The president-elect said that. So we're going to lean into that. And this time next week, we're going to have Frosted Glass sitting in the chair. We got the month is full. RVA DAR or DAR is going to be do one, Serenity Star 13, and one and only Beams of Destruction. That's the January lineup, fam. And on that note, I've got nothing else to say, man. I think Stradamantine complimented us and said it was a good show. I appreciate that. You got anything else you want to say before we scoot, bro?
Oh, thanks for having me on. Thank you everyone in the chat for showing up. Thank you for the questions, even the weird ones. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which should leave you a lot of options open. Cheers.
Right, and if you do, don't name it after him. Right?
It's merely a suggestion.
Exactly. All right, y'all. Bye, and have a good evening tonight. I'll be on Becca's channel later, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. So I don't know what she's going to do. I think news and stuff. We're going to talk, shoot the shit. I think Mitch is going to be there. See y'all later. Thanks, y'all.